Native birds and plants are flourishing once more along the banks of Waikato's Waipa River, thanks to the hard work of the Waipa Catchment Group. For the past 5 years, the group has been mobilising the local community to restore riparian margins along both sides of a 22-kilometre stretch of the river, removing crack willow, setting the fences back 10 metres from the top of the bank and planting natives, with dramatic results. To date, fencing and more than 80,000 native plants have been put in along 9 kilometres. This is supported by extensive erosion control measures, the removal of pest plants and the installation of rock structures to stabilise the banks, also creating new habitats for eels. Tui, that haven't been on the river for 50 years, are now seen and heard frequently. The 10-metre wide native riparian buffers are becoming established, replacing crack willow and other invasive weeds. As the riparian corridor grows, it's linking lowland remnant native bush with larger areas of growth in the ranges. The Waipa Catchment Group has achieved these incredible results by securing the funding and providing practical assistance to local farmers and landowners. So far, 16 farmers have come on board with formalised agreements and 4 marae are involved, with Te Kiti Marae being the main partner. To achieve its goals within 10 years, the group needs the support of more farmers located along the river corridor, and there are plenty of good reasons to get involved. Once a farmer signs up, the Waikato Regional Council removes willow and pest species from their property. Then, with funding secured for the Rerenoa project, the native plants are put in and maintained for 3 years with ongoing support and advice.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Davidson and this is my husband Graham, and we own a dairy farm just out from Otahonga, and it has one of its boundaries is actually the Waipa River. So I have a very strong conservation background, with my father being Arthur Cowan, who was one of the colleagues of Gordon Stevenson. So I was kind of brought up with conservation being a very strong value. And I'm also a trustee of the Native Forest Restoration Trust. So today we're just going to run you through a bit of the work that, so you can see a bit of the work our catchment group has done. Maybe show you what we've learnt along the way, introduce you to a couple of farmers that have come on board, Tim and Rachel Phillips, and also take you down to the local marae and introduce you to Gabriel Morgan, who's one of our key partners. Well, how did we start? That's the question. Well, the regional council came through and they wanted to take the crack willows out of our section of the river. And we thought, wow, this is the perfect opportunity to get a nice native riparian planting in that section, which is really all we wanted. And so we agreed to the willow removal and said, yes please, natives would be great. And the regional council said no. So I was horrified. And actually, let's be honest, slightly annoyed. So I went away and thought about it, and their reasoning was that the area, it was too small to attract funding, and it was too expensive to do it without. So hence the no reaction that we got. So I thought about it for a while and thought, damn it, this is something we really, really want. So I rang all our neighbours, just in the hope that one of them might actually want to do this as well and we could make it just a little bit bigger. And to my incredible surprise, they all said yes. So after all those phone calls, I got back to the regional council and said, well, we've got 14 kilometres of river now that could be done, so is that big enough? And of course it was. So we got the funding and that was how we started. So I think the most essential ingredient that you need for a catchment group is at least one absolutely passionate person. They need to have a little bit of knowledge, a lot of enthusiasm, and be prepared to oversee not only their own property, but every property that is involved in the whole group's work. The regional council are absolutely fantastic, but they are running multiple projects all over the region. So you need a local person that will just concentrate on the one project. So I really think that's the biggie.
Action.
So we're really informal. We have no actual formal structure at all. We just have a lot of enthusiasm. So if you're going to start up a catchment group, don't be daunted by formality. Sure, form a committee or an incorporated society if that's what suits you, but we've done it without, and honestly it works okay. So just get some keen people and grab a spade and go and do something. Another thing that we didn't realise, or at least I certainly didn't when we started, was when you plant your trees, you can't actually see them for 3 years. So for the first 3 years, you've gone from a patch of willows to what now looks like a patch of grass and weeds. And lots of people that don't understand the process see that and they don't get it at all because it looks terrible. Of course, after that, all your trees come up and it looks absolutely stunning. But you've got that lag time and you have to be prepared to tell your story when there's nothing there for anyone to see. I'd like to introduce you to Gabriel Morgan from Te Kieti Marae. Gabriel, do you want to tell us about the marae?
Kia ora koutou. I'm from Te Kieti Marae. Te Kieti, translated as the gateway to Maniapoto. We used to be called Gate Pa. Our hapu is Parewaimo.
So, Gab, how did you come up with a name for our Reranoa project?
With discussion with our whānau at the marae, we looked at what our awa was doing, and because she's always been calm, Waipa Rerenoa means the calming waters of the Waipa.
Right, that is really nice. And how long have you and your family been living on this river?
My family have been here since the late 1800s. So prior to being where we're situated now, they used to live up along the banks of the Waipa River in punga whare, thatch houses, and
yeah.
So that's where they were living, and the flooding from the river brought them inland to put a building up as their papakainga for everyone to gather in.
Wow. Yeah, that's some association. So, Gabriel, have you noticed any change or improvement of the Māori of the river?
The Māori to us is the life force. A lot more people are walking along the river and feeling what strength it gives you, whether it's relaxing, soothing, it's healing to everybody, just the sound of the river. Just watching it go by gives you, revitalizes you.
Wow, yeah. So, do you think it's really coming alive now that we're putting so much effort into it?
With the plants that are along the river, because they're natives and that's what used to be here before. Most of Otahonga, they call it Nehe Nehe Nui, which is the great forest. So now that we're putting all the plants back along the river, we may bring that forest back.
Oh, I hope so.
So once we completed our planting and the plants grew, we noticed the watercress had come back in the stream.
So we're down on the banks of the Waipa River, and this Rachel and Tim Phillips with me. They're one of our first farmers that came on board, and we're really pleased with the plantings here. This was done in 2016 and they're actually looking really, really good.
Yeah, it looks like the river is getting clothed with the clothes she was meant to wear, so I'm really pleased with it. They look beautiful.
It's hard to believe it's 3 years that these have been here. It looks like they've been here a lot longer. It's amazing how fast they've established, taken root and starting to look quite natural.
So we're standing in our nice plantings now, and guys, so, why did you get involved in this project?
Well, I was approached by one of my neighbours, who happens to be standing right here, who was enthusiastic and excited about the prospect of doing something right along the Waipa River, not just our farm or hers, but right up about 10 k's, and I thought that sounded like something exciting, something worthwhile being a part of. And to be fair, it looked like a good opportunity to me. We were going to have some funding to provide the plants, some resources and expertise to do it with, and some ongoing assistance afterwards. And I thought, well, if we're going to have to do that ourselves in time, that's going to be a big expense and a lot of effort. And so if we get on board with this, there's some big wins, and we get this done a whole lot earlier than we would have done otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought that was a big help. And to be fair, Rosemary, you were also quite enthusiastic. So I was keen to utilise and harness some of that energy.
Oh dear. Then how about you, Rachel? Was there anything that, you know, ticked the boxes for you?
We're quite into community, and we saw it as a really neat opportunity for people all up the river to get involved together and do something really positive. So yeah, when I heard about it, I thought, yeah, that's something we'd really like to be involved in.
That is really cool, because without people like you, you know, we just couldn't do anything, so it's awesome. So there's a whole lot of people and organisations that we really couldn't do this without, and Waikato Regional Council have been absolutely fantastic to work with. They're just marvellous. Waikato River Authority, without their funds you just wouldn't be able to get a project of this scale going at all. We've also had a lot of help from Waikato Catchment Ecological Enhancement Trust, the Maniapoto Maori Trust Board, Native Forest Restoration Trust, and the Waikato Ecological Restoration Trust. So they've all come in with bits and pieces as we needed them. Absolutely marvellous. So the Waikato Balanced Farm Environment Awards are launching this new Catchment Award. And the opportunity to build profile and share our learnings as catchment groups is absolutely invaluable. So I challenge all you groups out there that are doing similar things, better things, different things, get in there and enter. So just do it, because I think it'll be a really good thing.